Did you seriously think the front office was just going to play it safe and predictable during the 2026 NFL Draft? Think again, because they just dropped an absolute bomb on the roster, creating massive winners and some truly devastating losers across the board. The shocking reality is that several beloved veterans are suddenly fighting for their professional lives, while a few rising stars just hit the absolute jackpot. If you want to stay ahead of every massive roster move and dominate the fan conversation all season long, smash that like button, share this video with your fellow diehards, and subscribe to the channel right now. Are we finally witnessing the absolute end of the defensive-minded, grit-and-grind Chicago era once and for all? You have to start this conversation with the biggest winner of the entire weekend, and that is undeniably our franchise quarterback, Caleb Williams. The sheer volume of resources this front office continues to pour into the offensive side of the ball is nothing short of staggering. Even in spots where we thought they might pivot, they doubled down. Spending a premium second-round pick on a long-term center like Logan Jones out of Iowa sends a screaming message. It proves that Ben Johnson and the brass value the absolute core of the offensive line, and they are desperate to find a permanent stabilizer. They truly believe Jones is that anchor. But they didn't stop there. Grabbing a versatile weapon like Sam Roush at 69th overall gives Caleb yet another dynamic target who can also get his hands dirty in the blocking game. And let's talk about the sheer shock factor of Day 2, drafting Xavier Thomas. Adding his blazing 4.28 speed to this offense is unfair. 3 Day 2 picks, all heavily invested in the offensive side of the ball. It's a beautiful continuation of the master plan from a couple of years ago. Just look at the foundation they laid by rebuilding the line and bringing in terrifying weapons like Luther Burden and Colston Loveland. Caleb Williams took a massive leap because of it, and the front office is making sure their number one investment has zero excuses to fail. Moving to the backfield, DeAndre Swift has to be breathing the biggest sigh of relief of his life. He is a massive offseason winner. Let's be real, heading into this draft, there was serious panic. Swift is coming off a highly productive year, but he's entering the final, terrifying year of his contract. Every single fan was wondering, is the front office going to draft his replacement? Are they going to cut or trade him to save a mountain of cash? The answer was a resounding no. Outside of bringing in Coleman Bennett as an undrafted free agent, they completely ignored the running back position. Sure, you have last year's UDFA Deion Hankins trying to bounce back from injury, and Britton Brown signed to a futures deal, but the starting job is utterly untouched. You absolutely have to put Kyle Menengai in this winner's circle too, as he is clearly cemented as a permanent fixture. But for Swift, dodging the draft bullet means everything. We are absolutely riding into the season with that same exact 1-2 punch of DeAndre Swift and Kyle Menengai. Whether Menengai steals a few more snaps this year remains to be seen, but Swift is surviving and thriving. Over on the defensive side, Gervon Dexter Sr. just won the draft lottery by doing absolutely nothing. Entering the final year of his deal, let's be brutally honest, his season under Dennis Allen was overwhelmingly average. We all expected this massive, monstrous breakout year, and it just didn't materialize. He looked almost identical to his 2024 campaign and completely failed to take that critical next step. But look at what happened over the draft weekend. The front office barely touched the defensive tackle spot. Yes, they signed necessary depth pieces like Neville Gallimore, Kentavious Street, and James Lynch. Yes, they traded up with both 7th-round picks to draft Jordan Van Den Berg in the 6th round. But they did not draft a highly touted monster like Peter Woods. They completely passed on guys like Kristen Miller early on. What does that mean? It means Gervon Dexter Sr. is your unquestioned starter. He has been handed a golden ticket, a 4th year overall, and his 2nd year in this specific defensive system, to prove his worth. Even if he doesn't secure a long-term future here, he has the perfect unthreatened platform to earn a massive payday somewhere else in 2027. You know who else was sweating bullets on draft night? Braxton Jones. He is a monumental winner today. For weeks, the rumor mill was absolutely screaming that the front office was terrified of the left tackle situation and was fully prepared to spend a 1st-round pick on a franchise blindside protector. If they had drafted a Caleb Lamu or if Caden Proctor had somehow fallen into their laps, Braxton Jones would have been fighting a losing battle. A 1st-round left tackle is taking your job. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But with Ozzy Trapilo still recovering on the shelf, and the only real competition being Jedrick Wills or maybe Theo Benedict, who feels more like a roaming depth piece anyway, this is Braxton Jones' job to lose. Ben Johnson confirmed he's bulked back up to 310 pounds and is fully healthy after a grueling offseason last year. He enters OTAs and training camp as the heavy frontrunner. Is he the 10-year answer? Probably not. That title likely belongs to Ozzy once he is fully healed, or a future top-tier pick. But right now, Braxton has the runway to make a lot of money for himself with a stellar season. And we cannot talk about defensive winners without screaming the name Austin Booker. What an unbelievable situation for him. The team ignored the edge rusher position entirely in the draft and free agency. He is an absolute, locked-in starter opposite of Montez Sweat. With Shamar Turner and Dayo Odeyingbo battling back from injuries, they will eventually eat into the rotation, but Booker is the main event. He showed us brilliant flashes last year, finishing incredibly strong with 2 massive playoff sacks. If they had drafted a Keldrick Falk or a Zion Young, Booker's snap count would be slashed. Instead, the runway is clear for him to chase an 8 to 10 sack season. He is extension eligible next offseason, and he has the perfect stage to demand a massive long-term contract. Now, we have to talk about the brutal reality of the draft losers, and my heart breaks saying this, but Cole Kmet is in severe danger. He is safe for the season after the contract restructure. There is zero chance he gets traded right now, unless the season becomes an absolute disaster by the trade deadline. But long-term, the writing is violently on the wall after the selection of Sam Roush. Think about the youth movement happening in that tight end room. You have Colston Loveland at 21 years old. Sam Roush is right there at 22 or 23. Kmet is still young, but next year, his cap hit explodes to $15 million in the final year of his deal. If they cut or trade him, they save $10 million in pure cap space. Guys, I am getting serious deja vu right now. Does anyone remember when we drafted Luther Burden while we already had Rome Odunze and DJ Moore? The highly paid veteran, DJ Moore, became the odd man out and got shipped off. That exact same nightmare scenario is hovering over Cole Kmet. If Caleb Williams gels with Sam Roush, and Loveland continues to ascend, the team is going to look at Kmet's massive contract versus 2 highly talented players on rookie deals, and they will absolutely choose the cap savings. It is a terrifying spot for him to be in. Garrett Bradbury is another veteran whose days are strictly numbered. He will likely open OTAs, and even week 1 as the starting center, simply because of his 51 games of starting experience. But the moment they drafted Logan Jones in the top 60, Bradbury became a dead man walking. You do not spend a premium draft pick on a center unless you fully expect him to be the franchise anchor. This is strictly a 1-year rental situation for Bradbury now. If he slips up even once during the season, Logan Jones is going to instantly unseat him. The secondary is about to turn into a bloodbath, specifically for Tyrique Stevenson and Zay Frazier. Let's be totally transparent. Nobody actually expected Zay Frazier to march in and steal a starting job after missing the entirety of last season. But the fact that they managed to steal Malik Muhammad late in the 4th round, a guy universally graded as a top 80, day 2 talent, changes everything. Muhammad possesses elite pressman skills that perfectly fit this defensive scheme. Question of the day: who do you honestly believe will lock down the CB2 role when the smoke clears? Drop your predictions in the comments right now. Type TS for Tyrique Stevenson, MM for Malik Muhammad, or drop another name if you see a crazy dark horse emerging. I'll give Stevenson the slight edge based on pure experience, but his leash is completely gone. If he struggles early, Muhammad is going to snatch that job in a heartbeat. And where does that leave Zay Frazier? He is suddenly fighting for his absolute survival just to make the 53-man roster. When you look at the lock pieces, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyrique Stevenson, and a special teams ace like Josh Blackwell, the math gets terrifying. Are they really going to keep Zay Frazier, Malik Muhammad, Josh Blackwell, and Terrell Smith? Not a chance. Out of Terrell Smith, Zay Frazier, and the rest of the bubble guys, multiple players are getting cut, and Frazier is on the absolute fringe. Finally, we have to talk about the heartbreaking reality for linebacker Ruben Hippolyte too. His entire offseason has been a total disaster. The coaching staff brought back Jack Sanborn, a player they trust deeply. Then, They completely stole Keyshawn Elliott in the 5th round, snatching a top 100 talent at pick 160. Year 1 was a nightmare for Hippolyte. He was inactive for the vast majority of the season and couldn't even crack the special teams rotation despite his freakish athletic profile. Look at the absolute locks in that linebacker room right now: TJ Edwards, Devin Bush, DeMarco Jackson, and now Keyshawn Elliott. You do not cut a highly touted 5th round rookie. If the team only keeps 5 linebackers, it is going to be a violent, winner-take-all cage match between Jack Sanborn and Ruben Hippolyte II for that absolute final spot. And considering Noah Sewell is likely starting the year on the PP list after tearing his Achilles, the pressure in that room is going to be suffocating from the very first whistle of training camp. The drama is set, the lines are drawn, and this roster is about to experience one of the most intense, unforgiving training camps in recent memory. Rookie minicamp is right around the corner, and the absolute chaos of OTAs will be here before we know it. Keep your eyes glued to the field, because everything is about to change.